Factorio is a drug. Some Walter White shit, some would say. That has you coming back again and again. I just spent 48 hours of my life playing Factorio. 12 hours a day for 4 days straight. Forgetting to eat and sleep. I've lost 5 pounds. And have messed up my sleep schedule so badly that 4 a.m. is now my bedtime. Why though? Well, the dopamine when you have finished a technology or have fixed a bottleneck, or in Timid's view, the train goes. You forget to eat, sleep, and even go outside. Outside. This is the story of the most dangerous drug on the market, Factorio.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Day 1 starts as any normal Factorio playthrough does. You crash land and have to survive on a planet of global warming enthusiasts that get more and more hostile as you subjugate and conquer their lands for more optimized production. Getting ores to craft drills and furnaces to make metals. We would then get power online and then slowly swap to electrical drills. Then I had created our first bus line to produce red science. To where we ran into our first problem. The protesters had asked us to stop impeding on their homelands and leave. So we kind of resolved the issue. Then we got belts and arms automated to expand the factory, and now we have green science. Researching steel furnaces and medium power poles, adding to faster production, and me having to remake the furnace setup, which will be remade countless times. Around this time we had chatters come in and shit on how our enterprise was turning into a spaghetti monster, which it was, but me and Timon ignored these claims and continued expansion into black science. Later on, Timon would make red belts, red splitters, and red underground belts, and this would be the only thing he would ever add to the factory because for the next 3 days he would work on trains which would drive him mad, and quite honestly, took longer than it should have. At this point, 10 hours in, we had run through most of the beginning mines and had to expand further out and pay for the land that the natives had stolen from us for more iron, coal, copper, and uranium.
Tactical nuke incoming!
That's right, it goes in the square hole.
Day 2 started with Jimmy buying the game and joining for 4 hours, building a thing or two, upgrading the tracks and arms to red and blue, and fucking up the factory. That wouldn't be noticed by me or Timid for 4 hours, and then telling us the game is boring, and that we won't teach him anything, but he needs to learn how everyone else did. Being just thrown into the deep end and figuring out for yourself. Anyways, he told us to go fuck ourselves. And he left, and then chat just spammed effing chats for homeboy Jimmy. I had to fix the bus lines into the smelters because of the excess flow of new ores from the day before being bussed over. To where Timon would start talking about his trains and trying to set them up for us. It would take until day 3 till one station would be built. Till then, I set up the oil refineries to make plastic and sulfur to make red circuits for blue science. To where electric furnaces were unlocked, then I had to recreate the mouth of the factory for the 6th time in 2 days, and would expand further into the unknown and get more ores to feed the ever-growing industrial complex. After this, the best thing had been created, lube, and robots. These bots would drastically help us improve the base's logistics and expansion. Around this time, the base was about to grow 10 times its current size, to where because of the new bots and electrical furnaces, we would run into a power problem, as Shat would point out.
Holy shit, you're stupid!
As we would just tell the bots to place solar panels, and then we would just ignore the problem until we got into nuclear power.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Day 3 would start with mass expansion of the base with a new design of defenses, which would be made by the bots because that is their purpose.
What is my purpose?
Build for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
Purple science would be made, and Timid would have the first rail station finished that was promised 32 hours ago. Nuclear power was established because of our rolling blackouts that had come apparent about every time it became night. I had made a decent nuclear reactor setup to help sustain the power grid for some time, and then was tasked by Chat to make an infinite uranium production thing That kind of worked, but I refused help and gave up, and now I own a Twitch chatter, Netflix. To then make a nuclear bomb as Gandhi had asked me to, and an Among Us guy for some reason, and then I may or may not, blew up a nuclear bomb within the base. Anyways, Timon had finally figured out the trains and had started connecting them to the mouth of the base, and I spent the rest of the night fixing more bottlenecks. At the end of day 3 is when I started to feel the effects of 3 days straight of Factorio. I'd only eaten one meal that day, and for the past 2, if I recall correctly. Factorio had started to consume me, and the constant dopamine hits of fixing things and building things had to stop, so I knew we had to finish on day 4, or the drug of Factorio would take me to the grave. But Tim had insisted we played on after the rockets had launched. Day 4 was really just a setup for rockets and cum science. That is about it. I automated everything you need for rockets and waited about 5 hours with 9 rockets to launch all at once because we thought it would be a good idea. We then fired all the rockets at once and then celebrated. This is when Tim and I had different ideas on how the factory should continue. I wanted to sell all of my stock and finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. Timon had wanted to continue and expand and conquer all in the way of our new empire. At that moment, I understood what Gandhi had wanted. We were the problem, taking land and expanding, causing pollution and killing the natives. And the only way for us to save the planet was to nuke us and whatever we had created and give it back to the protesters that, we had taken it from. And that right there, boys, is the game.
But why? We didn't finish the research!